Now, two brothers who had made their home in the Midwest in Limerick, Tajuddin and Salahuddin Safi, have been remembered as kind, hardworking men with strong ties to their community after they tragically lost their lives while fishing off the coast of County Clare at the end of last month. And in the time since then, there has been an outpouring of support with a fundraiser to help repatriate them to Afghanistan and to support their grieving families. Joining us now on the line is Ahmedzea Jaan, the organiser of the GoFundMe, which successfully raised funds to bring the brothers home. Ahmedzea, thank you so much for joining me on Morning Focus.
Good morning, Alan. Thank you. Thanks for having me here, and thanks to all your listeners and everybody tuning in. It's a great honour to be here today in your show.
We appreciate you making time for us, and we're all very familiar with that tragic story, the loss of Tajuddin and Salahuddin off the Clare coast at the end of March. But can you tell us, what kind of people they were?
I'd say the two brothers here, they were here with us in Limerick, especially Salahuddin, for almost over 10 years. You couldn't find a better individual, or I should say the two brothers individually. They were there for yourself whenever you needed, with all their smiles and time. I think I will be short of words to explain how they were. Everybody is devastated within the community, not only the community, everybody who knew them. And they were exceptionally, I don't have the words to apologize. I don't have the words to explain how they were. But they had really hardworking people. They had built a life here with their other two brothers and a nephew. And a smile in their face all the time. We can't forget their smiles. You talk with him and he smiles, what can I do for you? You may not be in your happiness time, but whenever you needed him, they were there. And we just lost them in no time. Too young to lose them.
And clearly there's been a devastating impact on the Afghan community and beyond in Limerick and the Midwest. But it would be remiss of me not to mention their immediate family, Ahmedzea, because to lose one family member in any circumstances, but particularly tragic circumstances, is devastating. To lose two, can't even begin to imagine what Tajuddin and Salahuddin's family are going through right now, and particularly because it has happened so far away from home.
It is indeed. I mean, since the bodies are already repatriated, and I've been in regular contact with one of the brothers who traveled from there to be there, and I think everybody is devastated back in the country too. Nobody can believe it. I mean, and especially their mother. And I think their mother has pretty much the minute she comes to her senses, and that's it, she goes back unconscious. And I'd say to have two young bodies in a state of a holiday, just to have them in a coffin, I don't think so anybody can tolerate such a pain. It's a very, very tragic way of having your two sons, two husbands, or two brothers, and two family members all of a sudden. I mean, without any other prior illness or diseases. Sometimes you expect some people will have issues, but they were two young, fit, athletic, good individuals, and we just sent them back with two coffins, and not to mention the two widowers, a pregnant wife. Salahuddin only had married about 8-9 months ago, I think. Yeah, that was it. And then Tajuddin with 5 children, 5 very young children. And I can only imagine what is going on through to them. Not to just mention the mother of the two brothers, but look, I think words will be falling short to explain how they are going to go and how they are going to deal with this.
Well, I'm sure everyone in their immediate vicinity back in Afghanistan or over here will rally around them. And you, in the immediate aftermath of the tragedy, set up a GoFundMe. As you said, their bodies have been repatriated. It was a successful initiative. What has it meant to you and the families to see that support from the Afghan, the Muslim, and indeed wider Irish communities come together in this way to help in whatever way they could?
Honestly speaking, once we found out that the family want the bodies to be repatriated, we know, and I think we all know, how much the cost will be. And myself, including our community, we decided to have this fundraiser and see how it goes. We had our initial target of. But to see so many people, not only from Afghanistan or other Muslim community in Ireland, but many Irish people who knew them or who didn't, they come forward, they helped, and this was a time that the family needed most, and the fundraiser was overwhelming. We achieved our target within the first 2 days, but then many people advised to let it go for another day and let people a bit help more, even though if it's a little bit, but it meant a lot. I think they just stood together as human beings. The support, the prayers, the messages, even just people showing up for the family, it gave them a lot of strength. The 2 brothers and the nephew that were there, they had another 5 relatives back from Dublin here. They just couldn't believe. I think they weren't alone. They found out that everybody is behind them. And I think at least while they were here until the bodies were taken back from the hospital and repatriated, they didn't feel alone. They know everybody is involved with them. And I think as a community, we are all thankful to everybody. And this showed the unity and I should say, regardless of the background, regardless of the color, I think everybody stood behind it.
Ahmedzea, the funds initially aimed to repatriate Tajuddin and Salahuddin. As you said, you left it going for another day. You've described that just how tragic the situation is. One recently wed, another a wife with 5 children left behind. Will the remaining money be used to help both of their families in whatever way it can in the immediate aftermath of such a devastating loss?
Exactly, and I think as I mentioned initially, we were just planning to come with as much fund as we can to repatriate the bodies. But as soon as we saw that people are really helping them, and then we decided to keep it for another day, and every single penny will be handed over directly to the brother who is here, and it will be eventually ending up with, especially with the 2 widowers, because I mean, having 5 children, a life ahead of them. We know that the 2 brothers are gone. The money cannot bring them back, but at least every single penny that is left over and will be handed over directly to the family. It will ease a lot of their upcoming, for at least maybe another few months or a year, the future of these kids. And that's what the plan is. So as soon as we get the money, we haven't really received that money back from the fundraiser yet, but I think it is in the process, and we have already have the plans in place to hand it over directly to a brother here who's gonna personally hand it over to the 2 widowers then. So I hope it eases a little bit the pressure, the financial pressure they have for a little bit future.
Yeah, hopefully so. Just before I let you go, Ahmedzea, you described the way the Afghan Muslim and a wider Irish community came together to help out with the GoFundMe. But even aside from financial contributions, there's clearly a strong sense of solidarity here across different communities. How important has that been during such a difficult time?
Honestly speaking, the response, that's something we could never forget. From the very beginning, people came together, not only in Limerick, but right across all Ireland and even outside Ireland. We were getting messages of prayer, supports from people who even didn't know the 2 lads. I mean, you are walking here in Limerick and people look at your calendar and say, oh, do you remember? Do you know, were you involved, or do you know these 2 brothers? And those words of prayers is something that the words will fall short because everybody got united behind them. And I think this shows the humanity rather than just the background. And we are grateful and thankful to everyone who reached out in this form to us. And I think that shows that why Ireland is considered one of the best when it comes to solidarity. And thank you to everybody.
Well, thank you, Ahmedzea, for joining us this morning. Great to see, I guess, from such a tragedy, such solidarity and positivity can emerge from a terrible, terrible episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and please pass our condolences on to Tajuddin's and Salahuddin's families and friends, and thank you for being on Morning Focus.
We will. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And just one last thing, through your channel, I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of our community to sincerely thank the Coast Guard team in Kilkee and Doolin, the Shannon Coast Guard helicopter crew, the Allen Island lifeboat team, the Killers Garda Station, who stood us behind us, who searched, who worked tirelessly and never gave up on hope. We will never forget what they have done. And thank you very much for having us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very, very much. Ahmedzea Jaan, the organiser of that GoFundMe that has helped to repatriate the bodies of Tajuddin and Salahuddin Safi.